In the last lecture, we looked at 4-note chords called seventh chords, so called because the interval between the root of the chord and the top note of the chord is a seventh. In this lecture, I'm going to talk about the most common types of seventh chords. Recall that we had 3 common qualities of triads: major, minor, and diminished, and one relatively rare quality triad called augmented. The qualities are determined by the intervals above the root. Diminished triads have 2 minor thirds above the root. Augmented triads have 2 major thirds above the root. Perfect and minor triads have a perfect fifth above the root, and either a major third for a major triad or a minor third for a minor triad. A major triad can be seen to have a major third topped with a minor third. A minor triad can be seen to have a minor third topped with a major third. To each of these triad types, we can add another major or minor third, creating a major, minor, diminished, or even augmented seventh above the bass. It looks like we might have 8 types of seventh chords to deal with. In reality, only 4 of these are possible within a key. Consider all the seventh chords in C major. Let's look at the triads first. There are 3 types of triads in every key: 3 major triads, 3 minor triads, and 1 diminished triad built on the 7th note of the scale. Let's add a 7th to each of them. Measured up from the roots of each chord, the 7ths are either major or minor. 5 of them have minor 7ths, that is 10 half steps. Of those, 3 of them are minor 7ths added to minor triads. 1 of them is a major triad with a minor 7th, and 1 of them is a diminished triad with a minor 7th above the root. The other 2 7th chords are major triads plus major 7ths above the root, and that's it. No diminished triads plus major 7ths, no minor triads plus major 7ths. We classify 7th chords by the triad type of the bottom 3 notes and the quality of the 7th. The long name of every 7th chord is in this format: triad quality, major, minor, or diminished, plus 7th quality, major, minor, or diminished. So this 7th chord is a major 7th chord. The first 3 notes, C, E, G, are a major triad. The 7th between C and B is a major 7th. We abbreviate it capital M, 7. The shorthand name for a major 7th chord is simply a major 7th chord. The chord built on the 5th note of the scale is a major triad topped with a minor 7th. Its long name is major minor 7th. Its short name is simply dominant 7th. Dominant is the name for the 5th scale degree, which is the root of this chord. The chords built on the 2nd, 3rd, and 6th notes of the major scale have a minor triad on the bottom, topped with a minor 7th. So this is a minor 7th chord, also called simply a minor 7th chord. The 7th chord built on the 7th note of the scale has a diminished triad topped with a minor 7th. So its long name is diminished minor 7th. Remember, the first quality is for the triad, the second quality is for the 7th above the root. So diminished minor means a diminished triad plus a minor 7th. The shorthand name for this chord is half diminished 7th. We'll look at fully diminished 7th chords in the next lecture. So let's pause here. So far, I have shown you the 4 7th chords that occur in every key, built on scale degrees 1 through 7. We name them based on quality of the triad on the bottom and the quality of the 7th above the root. So we have major triads topped with a major 7th, major triads topped with a minor 7th, minor triads topped with a minor 7th, and diminished triads topped with a minor 7th. There's one more common 7th chord that requires an accidental, which I'll talk about in the next lecture. We'll then spend some time identifying and spelling 7th chords.